Hey, I'm back. Do you use plastic food containers? Do you heat them? Do you know the names of the products that are used to make those plastics? Do you know what they do to your body? That's what we're here to talk about today. I'm Pam Schmidt, chemical minimalist. When you are looking at plastic food containers or even plastic wrap, you know, that saran stuff, chemicals can leach out of the plastic and into the foods or the beverages that they are in contact with. It happens whether the plastic is cool or hot. Hot is even worse, so I'm just telling you, you need to know. And there are risks that involve metabolic disorders, such as obesity, okay? And there's other metabolic disorders. It also can reduce fertility. That's another impact that we have through frequent exposure to endocrine disruptors in plastic. That's a mouthful. Also, I want to name for you some of the products that you could look out for and be aware of, because it might be on labels and it will help you avoid some of this plastic endocrine disrupting exposure. Phthalates, P-H-T-H A-L-A-T-E-S, phthalates. And phthalates, we can be exposed to them through direct contact with products that use phthalates, and from food that comes in contact with packaging that contains phthalates. So it could be wrappers, it could be the plastic, it could be all of that. We have special concerns regarding phthalates, phthalate exposure to young children, because this is going to alter their development in growth, in sexual development, in thyroid, in so many different things that the endocrine system involves. Another plastic product to be aware of is bisphenol A. Often it's just called BPA. And bisphenol A is an industrialized chemical that's been around for years. In fact, it's been around since the 1890s. It was developed by a Russian chemist, and it was considered to be used as an artificial estrogen at that time because it strongly imitated and mimicked the effect of estrogen hormones in the body. Estrogen affects males and females, you need to know. So BPA, estrogen mimicking, hormone disruption, endocrine system. You will find BPA quite often in plastic water bottles and food storage containers. It could be at the top of a canned food item, and it can be in beverage, soda cans. It also can be involved in paper receipts. So if you're handling paper receipts all the time, you're probably getting a lot of exposure to bisphenol A, BPA. Recently, BPA has been replaced with some other names such as BPS and BFP, but they're still potentially endocrine disrupting. And with all of these, there's a risk of a lot of ailments when you get a lot of exposure, such as Alzheimer's, cancer, childhood asthma, metabolic disease, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. BPA is soluble. That means it breaks down. So it can easily break down and leach into food and drinks, which I've already said. BPA recently has been replaced more often with bisphenol S, BPS. That's the replacement. It's called organic, but there's still endocrine disruptors in them. You'll find these in cash receipts, plastics, often in indoor dust because it breaks down and then it floats down and it attaches to the dust particles. BPS is also in the linings of beverages and food cans. So if you're drinking a lot of soda or if you're eating a lot of canned beans or whatever, that can easily leach into your food. It can also show up in medical devices, CPAP and tubing and a lot of those plastics. So it is very important that you learn to look for those kinds of ingredients on your labels. And yes, I'm saying you need to read labels because that's where you're going to see BPA or BPS or phthalates, and sometimes these companies are sneaky and they hide them. We'll talk about that later. But I'm doing this because I want you to live a happy, healthy life, and getting rid of some of our endocrine disruptors is going to lead us to that happy, healthy life. You can find more from me. I'm on Facebook, Chemical Minimalist. You can find me at chemicalminimalist.com. Check in. I'll keep this series going.